Thanks for joining us at the hashtag IMOMSOHARD podcast. You can rate,
Okay.
review, subscribe to this bad boy. You can follow us on all the socials. You can also see all of this hotness in the realness at YouTube or on stage, which we have a few shows in May. Very excited. We're going to be heading to Texas, which we haven't been to in a long time. We're heading to Minnesota, which we love going back there. There's a couple other cities.
Milwaukee.
Milwaukee at the Pabst Theater, which is where we shot our special, so we can't wait to go back there. And tickets are going, so go to imomsohard.com to get all your fun stuff ready to go because we can't wait.
I hope you guys can listen to me without your ears like bleeding because I am a bit nasally right now. I am doubling down on my North Dakota timbre in my voice because
I
I've got
think
a
you
little bit
sound
of a cold.
fine. I
You
always think
do?
it's interesting when people have colds because if it's just a little bit, it tends to make their voice a little bit like sharper. And I think it's actually a good thing. Like
Oh,
people have said,
well,
like when they sing with a little bit of congestion, they actually sing more on pitch.
I
So
think
I
you
think
can
it's
hear your
interesting.
voice more than you normally like when your ears are clogged, you're like hearing it from the inside or something. So maybe
Yeah.
that, I haven't tried singing, but we just started this podcast, so who knows what's going to happen, you
Let's
guys.
let's just stay loose
It's
and
very
see.
early on in that, but
Yeah.
if you're watching on YouTube, I've got a very red nose. I look like I'm 7 to 8 years old and rubbing my nose on my sleeve kind
Not
of
me. I
look.
look young and hot. And so if you're listening to this, I look young and hot, and you don't need to go to the YouTube to watch it. Just keep yourself tuned in. I'm in a bikini. I have so
Great.
many abs. I love
I've
my long
Same.
blonde hair.
I'm running
Um,
a fever, so I'm just wearing pasties just to keep
I
it
put out
legit.
all the time. I'm likable. I'm easy to be around. Those
Yes,
are
my husband complains that I am just an
too
annoying
sexting.
nymphette. Yeah,
He is rolling in the pee, is what my not the pee.
the urine.
This
We're not like that. We're not that
Hey,
interesting. I'm
man,
gonna tell you.
depends. Depends. Depends on what
Y-
I get out of it. Never mind, moving on. So, I think today's episode is gonna be really fun because, we're gonna celebrate who I think is, like, a really worthy hot flash, and, I was so sad to hear the
Yep.
passing of Val Kilmer, and then when I started to really think about Val Kilmer, but I just think that he embodies what a celebrity, what a star is,
Yep.
and we kinda don't have that anymore because of social media. I really feel like those days are gone because now we're like, "Look at them, they eat cereal just like us," but I kinda don't wanna know that these people that have been in my head as heroes are not like us. I know that that sounds terrible, but I do have this, like, idea that they're magic, and I think
Sure.
he is. He was from the jump weird, and from at the end, bless him, like, struggled, but it was also funny to the end, and, he is gone way too soon in my opinion, and, like, did you see Top Secret? And it was kind of like Airplane,
Oh
and
my God. Of course.
I
Like
remember the guys dancing on the wieners of the ballet dancers, and I was like, that laugh that you can't, like
wait, was that in Top Secret?
wasn't it
I
Top
thought that was
Secret?
in Men in Tights.
Oh,
Was
maybe it
he in
was.
Men in Tights? Thank God
Of
I
course
brought
I've
up
seen
his
the Men in Tights. Oh, shit, maybe
IMDb
I got it
page.
wrong, but I know that Val Kilmer was in, Top Secret because he said shit like, um, he sat down and she goes, "What's your name?" And he goes, "Nick." And she goes, "How did your dad come up with that name?" And he goes, "No idea. He was shaving." It's shit like that
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 is
makes
not his
me
best work.
it's
I mean,
my
it's
but it for me, it showed that, like, because after when he died, I realized, like, this body of work sort of followed us and our age, because he's
yes.
quite a bit older than us, but he's, like, the cool senior in high school, you know what I mean? He was, like and again, being this weird, artsy dude that if you didn't see the documentary, it's wonderful. He had a literally, like, a VHS camera that he was a little bit of an
Yeah.
egomaniac, which I also like because
That's
he was
sexy, man.
yeah, he was unapologetically out there. He dated Cher for 2 years. God, she loved
She's just
him.
you guys, sorry. She just exploded all over Val Kilmer. I felt very sad. Like celebrities pass and you're like, "Oh, that's too bad," or they were great or they were talented, and I had, like, a deep emotional response to it, partly because I remember, like, loving him, like, I l because I loved the Bad Boys, loved Jim Morrison, so Val Kilmer playing Jim Morrison in The Doors, like, I had a Doors sticker on my car, I put it on the Oldsmobile,
He
I
was
don't care,
great. He was
I
great in that.
loved him, and then I also was like, "Oh, he's not that old," but I was also like, "Oh, if he's, like, of the age where he could die, that means I'm getting old too." Like, all of it was kinda, like, colliding on me, like, w when I heard about it, like,
Well, I
I
just feel like cancer is the one stupid, unfair thing that can get anybody at kind of
totally.
any age, and he got it, and it was brutal because it was in his throat, and then they hit his vocal cords when they went into intubate, and that is why he had no voice for the last, 12 years or decade or something, but, I do think his body of work speaks for itself because
Absolutely.
it wasn't of the normal, like, heartthrob path, and by the way, there are so many movies that I remembered that I was like, "Oh my god," like Real Genius, The Saint. I mean, if you're not talking about Tombstone, you're not even
Oh
e
my god, I mean, Tombstone's in, like, my top 5
yeah.
of favorite films. Heat is way up there too, which he was
Heath,
in.
he was so good, and he played, like, the less, like, he was, like, the younger of the boys that were part of the gang, and he was, a gambler and, like, in a bad marriage with Ashley Judd,
He
and they
was
were hot and steamy.
He was such a good actor, and he was one of those actors too that would, like, embody the character, like, he would gain weight, lose weight, like, do whatever he had to, like, he was, like, so skinny and sickly looking when he played Doc Holliday, and
Yeah,
still, like, Doc Holliday, obviously a piece of shit, as a person, but how did he make Doc Holliday so damn hot? There wasn't a single girl from, like, age 10 to 95 that wasn't like,
like,
"Yeah, I'd help.
also, he was
I'd
so
nurse Doc Holliday back to health."
yeah, I'd be like, "I'd get one in there before, it all shuts down
Yeah,
'cause I wanna be his Huckleberry is what I wanna be."
100%, yeah.
He was so sweaty and sick, and I was like, "I don't care, I'll take him.
No,
I got him, come here."
actually, you do have a lot of friends, Doc. They want you for your body or
Yeah,
just your slick,
goddamn,
dismissive attitude, but,
ugh,
God, it's so hot.
just be mean
Well,
to me like that.
I know. My God, he just
I
was like, this is what he reminds me of. He's like the American answer to the British great actors. He could like play any role convincingly, adopt accents.
yeah,
In
in
his
this
prime, I think he was like our Gary Oldman.
he also is, so hot in Top Gun that I think we can just I for me, when I saw Top Gun first of all, Top Gun destroyed me as a everything I needed to know about my sexuality came through in Top Gun. I was like, "Yep, I have urges for all of them." Maybe even Kelly McGillis. I felt
Yeah, that
confused
wasn't
about
fair.
her strengths and her disposition I found alluring, but then, like, all of them, literally, Goose, I was like, "He's the fun, loose guy." Iceman takes himself too seriously, but God, but he's so good in the sack. And then,
Oh
like,
my
all of them,
God,
just all of them.
Iceman. I mean,
Iceman, and then he does the chomp
with his
and
teeth.
teeth,
And
yeah,
he's got
his
the world's most perfect
but
teeth.
wonderful teeth, the most
I
wonderful teeth.
I just what it's and it makes you wonder because sometimes like they say actors that are like really nice people play the best like a-holes. And that's not like across the board, but like, God, who am I thinking of? I think we're talking to somebody about somebody recently that they were like painfully nice, but they're good at playing like
I
the
think that
villain in
I
things.
think that's generally kind of true because I know that, like, the Amy I get these 2 mixed up. Amy Adams or
Yeah.
Amy McAdams, whichever one was in The Notebook was in, um,
Mm.
um,
Or Rachel
Mean Girls.
McAdams?
Rachel McAdams. Rachel McAdams is sincerely nice and plays a fantastic mean girl. I think, like, Val Kilmer, I do think there are people out there that were like, "Yeah, he was a real a-hole to work with." But I'm always wary of who's saying that because I'm like, or was he just really particular? Or was he just really like, hot-headed at the time and full of, like, gusto.
Which is gray zone asshole, being very particular.
I don't find that unattractive, I'll be honest.
If
I'm like,
he if he
"Oh, stop."
if he started out like his auditioning process and was like, "I need water. Take this shit. It's room temperature. I need cold." Like that's
I'd
one
be like,
thing,
"Just call me your huckleberry."
but my husband one time said he met Aretha Franklin and she was like, "I'm not walking down that stairwell. It looks cold." And everybody was like, "Okay, you're Aretha Franklin. You get to say that. Like
You
you
can
will
float down these stairs for all I care.
let's get a team to carry you like down the back way or something
Like
like that."
Mariah
But I
Carey on the what's that thing that carries all the boxes? They literally just prop her up on
on a
one and then
dolly,
on
like
the
a hand
dolly, and then she
truck.
gets to the stage. But I'm like, "You know what? Your broad has, like, a 5-octave range. Maybe you carry her on a dolly. Maybe that's
She's in a
what
tight
you want."
dress.
I
She's
don't know.
sewn into that dress sometimes.
I don't know
Good
that I
God.
care. I
I don't
I
know.
just
Did we address this? I just heard somebody, I don't know if it was at the Oscars or what. It was a female was sewn into their dress and had to wear a diaper because they couldn't get it off to,
I believe Kim Kardashian has been in that space a time or 2,
my
but I don't
God.
know that that's listen, I guarantee you I'm gonna pee in a dress, and it doesn't mean it's sewn into me.
No. And I actually, my husband has a friend too who had like front row seats at Jersey Devils, and she would wear a diaper because she didn't want to have to get up to go. Listen,
I
I'm
know that
not
all the people in New York City that go to the drop, they have to wear diapers because there's no bathrooms.
I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
I'm not doing that because I don't
Also,
know that I trust it's not something I know how to do, so am I gonna trust this thing and just, like, let loose? Gross.
I
I can't.
look, I
I'm
think
not
it's
into
going to feel
peeing.
really uncomfortable. I mean, I'm not somebody that can tolerate sitting with a minor adjustment needed. I have to like adjust that shit, and I don't care who's looking. I'm
Yeah.
not going to hang out in a diaper. I would bring like an empty bottle and you know,
Absolutely not. No. I'm peeing in a diaper before I'm peeing in a bottle because
really?
I'm not gonna make it into that bottle. We've talked about this. I am not getting it in that bottle.
You can.
I'm getting it all over my hand. So,
Someday
I know me.
someday I think you're not getting it close enough then. I think
Jesus Christ. If you are ever taking a bottle and putting it that close to me, we have spent too much time together. We need to
well,
walk it back. I don't
look,
know where that would be the case. I would just pee.
if we're
Huh.
on a boat,
I would
and
put it in your butt.
Chris, you have to put fresh water in my butt, I'm gonna say, well, a little tit for tat. I'm gonna show you you can pee in a bottle, Kristen.
I
Here we
wouldn't
go.
Jen, you're not getting it. I wouldn't be able to pee because I would be dehydrated, and that is why you would have to put the water in my butt. For all of you that are first-time listeners, this is a survival skill. When you are on a dinghy on a boat in the ocean and your friend is dying of dehydration, don't make her drink the water. She'll barf it up. Flip her over, put the water in her butt. Saves her
But
life
you
because
have
the
to be
absorption through the anus is better than the absorption through the stomach. I'm just saying it for anybody that's never listened to this podcast.
but you have to be so dehydrated to begin with. And I'm saying you would pee some. It might come out like pumpkin pie filling, but you would pee
Ew,
some. And
gross,
and I would
disgusting.
that would make it easier actually for you to get it in the bottle, Chris. And that might be a great way for us to start
I
this.
think people might actually barf at that. That is just you know nothing about dehydration. It comes out like bloop, bloop, like a little droplet. Like you wouldn't be able to
Hey,
pee any.
I don't know how much water you think I drink, but I happen to know a lot about dehydration. No, I do have to tell this story because I don't know
Oh,
if I've told it to you before, where I literally did get dehydrated, where I was in Vegas and I was there like doing a work thing and I hadn't drank all day. Like I just had like driven in from LA. I had probably had
ugh.
a venti coffee or something like that. It was August. It was like a million degrees.
Oh
I was
no.
working. And then my husband and I went to dinner and we were sitting at dinner. I was like, I don't feel very well. I think I feel nauseous. I have to go to the bathroom. And I took like 10 steps and I collapsed in the bathroom of the restaurant at the Palms Hotel. And I do have to say, factual, is they came up and before they were like, "Ma'am, are you okay?" They were like, "Ma'am, please sign this," and saying that we didn't
No,
have any. Yes, they totally did. They totally did. But it was just dehydration from like, and I guess because we were staying on the
because
25th
you're in the
floor,
desert.
and elevation like makes it worse. So when I went up to the room to change clothes, I got really, so I do. But you know what? I did. You're right. I didn't pee for several days. So,
Thank
what
you.
am
So
I
if somebody
thinking
would have just
now?
flipped you over, put water in
And
your
put water
butt
in my butt, I
right
would have
then
been
and there,
fine.
it's Vegas. It's not like they haven't seen weird stuff. I
I
think
did
that'll
see
become a
somebody give me
trend.
a pamphlet for that. I wish I would have held on to it.
Now you can just go get an IV drip of whatever. I'm so glad those weren't there when I didn't like Vegas when I was young, but if I did and I went, I think I would have invested in the drop bag of vitamins that make you not hungover, and then I would be currently an alcoholic.
Well, yeah. I mean, they did say, like, one of my friends was telling me that worked in the medical field. She's like, you should just gone to the ER and gotten fluids. Like, and I was, because that's the easiest way. Instead, though, I had like 16
My taste,
Gatorades. Yeah. So I changed my DNA in the process because,
it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. In case anybody's wondering, um, why my background is a hotel, should I say why my
no, you didn't.
I'm in a hotel. And that's all you need to know about my life is I'm in a hotel. But that I'm in a hotel
Don't
because
read into that. Everything's fine.
no,
Everything's
everything's fine. My family's joining me. I'm not that blessed. Like,
just had to leave the house for a couple days.
it's
We can
fine.
get into that at some other point.
I am such a nomad right now that it's not hard for me to go anywhere. Like literally, I went to the front desk and I was like, "You got a place where I can podcast?" And they're like, No, ma'am. Can you just check into your room early?" "Yep, okay, great." And then I had like 18 bags as I was going. I was like, "These are my kids. They'll be coming after school, and then I'm leaving for Camp Girardeau tomorrow. So everything's cool, you guys." So if you can hear this 1972 AC behind me, that's what's happening. And
Well, next time I would like to see you podcast from a hot tub with a chicken Sammy in your hand because that does sound like a little bit of heaven. I
yes,
do
I would
think
like
it would be when we're on the road, we should try and figure out how to podcast from the weirdest place possible, like inside of a sauna or
I know with the sound, but yes, I agree with that. I think that would be hilarious if we're like at the bar just having like the best French dip sandwich.
Kristen's on the other side of the bar, and so
We're
we
just
can see
two
each other,
different
but our mics don't.
squares. Yes. Well, my son, so we're in this hotel. There's people working at our house, and we're in this hotel tonight and tomorrow night, and my kids love it because it's down the street, so like not a big deal for them. My son loves hotels. Here's what I'm going to tell you about my son. I think my son, I know my son thinks that we live in like the messiest house ever. His he comments all the time about how someday he's gonna have his own apartment, his counters are gonna always be clean. And then I
Oh
was
my
like,
god.
kind of bullshit. My counters are not messy. Like there's decor, but they're not messy. My room's a shithole. That's my business. But the the downstairs is clean. Like it's 100% clean. And might I just say that my son will leave a trail that I have to pick up after him. So I think in his perception of his brain, he is a
Mhm.
neat freak, but I don't know how to tell him he is
Oh.
not.
'Cause he doesn't see who's
He
actually
doesn't
doing the picking up in his
no,
life.
he put 35 Band-Aids on his feet for soccer last night and left all 35 shredded Band-Aid wrappers out, and I was like, "Oh, you
Yeah.
sweet, neat little type A in the
Yeah.
land of delusion." So, my son, when we go to hotels, I see the relief on his face because that old timer literally first thing he'll do, what do you do? Takes off his pants so he can just be in his undershorts, and then he puts
Yeah.
on the hotel robe if we've got one. Then he'll set up his charging station, which takes all of the outlets. There's 3 other people in the room.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
He
you kidding
takes
me?
the
Of course,
charging
yeah.
station and makes it his own, and if you dare touch one of his chargers, it's over. This kid is going to be a financial bro or pharmaceutical rep or something that
I'm telling
requires
you.
because he's so happy to get like a hotel key.
I'm seriously Googling, like, at what age do humans begin to regard other humans if that is going to be a part of their life plan? Because my daughter would come in and be like, there's only two beds, I need both, because I plan to like jump from one to the other. So
100%. My son said to me, because he knows that we fly first class when we go on the road. We do that because we have a billion points so we can upgrade, and it's
and
sometimes
the
the only
work
time
of
we
it
rest.
is the travel.
Yeah, and
Like
so
doing the shows, very fun.
I make 0 apologies for that. It is
No,
sometimes the
yes,
only thing we get, and my
yeah.
son knows that we travel first class. So when we were talking about going on our next family vacation, which by the way, will all be paid for on miles once again and is always budget travel, my son's like, um, can I go ahead and upgrade to first class? I'll pay for the upgrade. And I go, "But,
You don't know.
A, with what money? And B, no. And C, just for yourself? You're going to go to
Yeah,
first class. And the 3 of
yeah.
us are gonna be hanging back and coach? Like, are we gonna walk by you and you're not gonna act like you know us? Is that the
Don't
next
make
thing?
eye contact with him. Don't you
Do you
dare.
think
You
you're gonna
act
get
like
off that flight and there's gonna be a car waiting for you? Like,
guy's gonna
his
have 2 to 3 Bloody Marys. He's gonna be causing a ruckus, slapping the flight attendants on the tuchus.
No, he absolutely would never do that because he knows there would be a fist come from the ether that would just like, "Bow, bow, 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 bow."
Well, when we went to Costa Rica, we upgraded everybody. We had the whole
We used
the whole
all of our miles.
first section of Alaska Airlines to Kristen and my families, and my son, what was he, 9, is like, I'm gonna read the New York Times because he's like, "When in first class, you
Be
do
in
this."
first
He's like,
class.
the flight attendant was like, "Does he read the paper?" I'm like, "Today he does,
Yeah,
but
they
no."
all act like they're, like, 62 years old and in retirement and, like, or they're in their final years of being a CEO, and you know what? I think it's good for them because we have that we have that ability sometimes every 5 years we take a vacation and, Jen and I do together and try to, like, make it as fun as we can because we work so many days out of the week, and but in those 5 years, it's all coach, so I think it's good for them to get to see what hard work gets you, and then also go back to the reality that we will quickly be taking a Southwest flight to go see your grandmother in Houston. Like, there is no we are not we are not those people. We are
Yeah.
Marriott, Bonvoy, use your points, budget travel people. And then if you want better for yourself, go get better for yourself. I hope that's what you want. I hope that's what you
I think he doesn't know how much it is to upgrade the ticket, otherwise he would not be suggesting that.
I don't think he understands what dollar bills are, okay?
Exactly. Oh, yeah.
Because he's like, "I'll pay for it myself," and I'm like, "With your I don't know how much you think the tooth fairy has left you, but all in, your entire mouth wouldn't get you, like, the left ass
Yes.
cheek of a first class flight."
It's all magical math because, like, my daughter is playing basketball, which we've attempted before, and,
With all the boys?
no, this is she's old
Oh,
enough now that they have girls' league, and
I
my
think
son's
that
on
makes a
boys' league.
difference.
But it's also like we've been trying to just find the sport that they like. They both like soccer, but they're not like diehard soccer people. And it might be, let me say this gently, my husband accepting the fact eventually that maybe they're not sporty kids. It's maybe not like what they're into. Like, I mean, they like, but they have to do something. They have to do something physical. So the thing we're on right now is basketball, and they're kind of playing a lot of catch up because a lot of the other kids have like played for a while or like been
Yeah.
on teams. So they have like the concept. So we show up, we order Delilah this nifty checkered like 80s basketball that's like powder blue and pink. And we're like, she's gonna love this. She's gonna love to play with this basketball. And we ordered the wrong size.
Oh, yeah.
So, which I don't think either one of us had considered that being a thing. So, first practice, I bring her this Monday, and the coach is like, "Oh, hey, sorry." He's really sweet. He's a friend of ours. This is the wrong size. She can use it for like drills at home, but for practice, she needs a regular size one. Like tosses it back, and as the ball's bouncing over, I shout across the gym in which there are 4 teams practicing. It's my husband's fault. It's my husband's fault. He should have known better. I don't. play sports. I don't do them. I don't. And
I
but
don't
I
deal
here's
with
what
the size of the balls, I just deal with the balls.
no, I I I know how to see a large ball if I
Ball,
see it. Like I know, but I if it's an oversized ball, I can identify that, and
that's
a
probably 'cause
grossly
it's
undersized ball,
testicular.
I think I could as well.
Yeah.
But I did what I do, which is get on Amazon immediately and order the right size ball because I see what size my husband ordered, and then my daughter comes out not understanding basketball or American currency, and she's like, "Oh, I wanted one exactly like the other one, only bigger." And I'm like, "Well, they don't have that. They have I saw that, but it's $35. And you, my little one, don't need a $35 basketball because you are wearing Eleanor's hand-me-down basketball shoes
You
because you are not even vaguely committed to playing this sport. You
I
it's
think
like
I have
tea.
other shoes for you, by the way, don't buy any because
I'm not paying 35 bucks for a basketball. I'm like, you're lucky you're not using the sun like bleached one, gross one that's like covered in like dead bugs and stuff from down like in
uh,
the backyard.
let me tell you something. I'm raising kids that will someday pour themselves a full glass of orange juice and feel like they're breaking the law, okay? Because I'm a half glass of orange juice person because that's who I was as a kid. It was liquid gold, and that's how
Yes.
you understood currency. I was like, you don't get a full glass of orange juice. That's too much money. You get a half glass of orange juice. So someday, wherever they are, when they're paying for their own orange juice, they'll get a full glass of orange juice, and then they'll understand economics because
Oh,
that is when you know when you can pour yourself your own damn glass of orange juice, you're financially on your own. And I have nothing to say about that.
I mean, when this economy goes tits up, we could honestly use orange juice as the currency, like, because every family's got it and is like, I, the points in my airline miles in orange juice, I am so protective of that. Like, if I see like like a quarter of a glass, because they're not allowed to pour a whole glass. There's no
Oh
way.
my God.
Half glass or below, because you're not going to finish it. If I see some left in the glass, I'm pouring it back in the thing. And
Yep.
if you don't want backwash, then you got to get on board and you got to finish whatever you pour.
My, I remember when I was at my house, a friend came over in the middle of the day. I can't remember who it was. I remember it wasn't one of like my regular friends because they knew because we all ran, my parents and their parents all ran the same organization, which was cheap. And my friend goes, I was like, you want water? It was basically like water or milk back in the day. And I was like, you want a
Yes.
glass of water? Do you want? And and my friend goes, I'll have a glass of orange juice. And I was like, in the
That
middle of the afternoon?
that's
Do
an
you want
option?
Harry Hensley to explode? Like, what kind of money grab are you going for right now? You gonna steal something? Like that is we didn't deal with that kind of shit. And we never first of all, I never stayed in a hotel that had a mini bar, but you can just automatically assume no mini bar.
Everything's a
Also,
million bucks.
not even most of the time my mom and I would split a popcorn at the movies, but that was kind of it. She would like bring in some M&Ms in her bag and tell us to shh. But like we didn't do that stuff. We didn't get the big foam fingers. We
No,
did
God,
fun stuff
no.
every now and then, but it was campsites and
Yeah,
Holiday
we were
Inns
a
and
solidly pro wings family. We did
yeah,
not,
man.
I did not have kids on the back of my shoes. Maybe if I asked for them for like my birthday or Christmas or something like that, but no, we were not like brandy whatsoever. I mean, Kristen, she goes, "Oh, I got so hungry the other night that I broke it in the mini bar and I got gummy bears." And I was like, "We're never going to financially recover from this, Kristen.
No, I said,
$32 for gummy
Jen,
bears."
that is not what happened. I told you what happened. I said I got nervous because I picked up the gummy bears and then I realized
Oh,
what I was doing. And I was afraid there was a sensor, but then I realized we were at a Marriott. So
it is,
then
but that's what I worry about. That's like, Temple of
$400.
Doom, where you like move the
Totally.
idol and then like the giant ball of financial ruin
I
comes
know.
towards
So
you.
then I promptly walked down to the front desk with a full buzz because we had had a martini and a mojito. So I got hungry. So I went down to the front desk in my pajamas, trying to pretend like I was totally fine. And I was like, I touched the gummy bears, but I
I
didn't
can
eat
try
them.
to my account.
Can I can I please get a DiGiorno pizza from your freezer?
That doesn't count as an incidental. Ma'am, can you spell incidental right now?
Yes, but I have a lisp, so it's gonna come out weird. It's just how I talk. It's
No,
my
I
thing.
know. So my kids, they get so much, and it's the exact same mindset that they have about like the Starbucks thing. Is like
Oh,
if I used to think my dad was so cheap and it bothered me, but, like, I am absolutely becoming that because I go to Starbucks. I was like, "I'm gonna get all the kids at this birthday party Starbucks gift card so they can get, like, 1 drink." No, you it's $7 all in to get the smallest drink at Starbucks now, and I was like, they
absolutely
used to
not.
have, like, a $5 to $10 one. I made the lady make 15 $7 ones because 'cause I'm like, "I'm not doing we're not rounding up on
Rounding
these."
up? No,
God,
man.
no.
I'll tell you, the thing that killed me about I never like when I fall in to the to the to the game. Like if like the second like okay, if you haven't read Susie Orman's 9 Steps to Financial Freedom, I highly recommend. It's a very strong book about how to get yourself out of debt. It's a little bit older, but it's real brass tacks and I like the way she talks cuz she sounds bossy and I like it. She talked about the coffee game. Like, are you such a fool that you can make yourself a cup of coffee at home, buy the nicest coffee maker that you want, buy the best coffee you can get, make yourself a cup of coffee at home with all your fixins, and at the most, that cup of coffee is gonna cost you $1. Like, at the very most, because you could
Yeah.
do Keurig or whatever, and then think about you're gonna go to Starbucks and you're gonna have somebody make you that exact same cup of coffee, and you're gonna pay $7. Are you honestly that big of a fool that you're gonna let that game beat you because of its being convenient? And listen, I'm the first to admit that, like, those sandwiches and going through the drive-through, it's very convenient, but I think about it every single time I buy one. I'm like, if I go to home, I can just make myself a cup of coffee. It's not so much better that it's worth 500% more than you know what I mean? Because like,
Oh my god.
sometimes going to a bar and paying a lot for a drink, I'm like, "It's nice being out. I'm in a
And
restaurant. I'm
I
in a
can't
thing."
make that at home either. Like I
Yeah, I'm not gonna make a mojito at home. It's messy.
no, but I did when I was probably like in my early 20s, I did that back in my sales days in the car and before Sirius XM radio and all of that stuff, I would listen to AM talk radio cuz I turned 95 very young.
Ugh.
And so I would listen to Dave Ramsey and I did his
Oh, he's
like
great.
and I've recommended it to so many people cuz it absolutely makes sense. And I think some of that like sticks in there because I'm always like my whole thing is like how am I going to pay my house off? I just want to have my house paid off. Like that's my whole like driving force in my life.
Totally.
I'm like, I'm not naturally great at money, so that's why I'm like trying to teach my kids like better. And I'm telling you,
I think it's orange juice. Go with the orange juice. It's visual. Don't ever pour more than half a glass. Have them be afraid of orange juice, but then when they get their own orange juice and then they realize how much it costs, they pour a full glass, maybe they can't even drink it. Ugh, they're pouring it
yeah.
back in just like we do. And you know what? That's the greatest math you'll ever teach them is when it's their own. Because I'll tell you something, kids get real frugal when it's their own money. When it's
Oh my God, they don't
when it
want it anymore. If you're like,
they
okay,
don't
you
want
can
it
buy it with your
anymore.
money, they're like,
Yep, I
looks less
said
appealing.
Finn got this. Finn is actually, I mean, I won't tell him this, but he is organized. He is tidy. He's easy as long as we're doing what he wants. But he is easy, kind of in general. Like he doesn't have expensive tastes. This kid wore the same pair of Adidas tennis shoes, and then I saw them, and I was like, "Oh, good God! Everyone's gonna think we're like going through financial hardship. We've got to like, how long have these shoes been this way?" Like I
Yeah.
just won't notice with him, and he wears the uniform to school, so it's kind of like I don't know. But this kid he measures. Like he measures what he has to do and how much he has and he's good at kind of saving. I think I was kind of the same as a kid. I wasn't very impulsive when it came to money and if I had to pay for it, I was definitely not impulsive with
Yeah.
money.
No,
Eleanor on
for
the other hand is like Sephora is so fun and reasonably priced.
that's the pitch I give to my husband too about Sephora, but it's not true.
Oh, they went in and Eleanor goes, I think mom has a lot of Sephora points. And Eleanor was telling me the story and my face was getting hot. And I was like, "Way to
They're
throw
mine.
me under the bus, sister." And so then they looked up my account and the lady's face visibly went, "Whoa." And my husband was like, wait, you get those for spending money at Sephora? And I was like, walk it back, walk it back.
Yeah.
Yes, because
You
we
could
buy everything from Sephora everywhere when we are on tour. Ugh,
well,
that
also, I use my
crazy Armand
points
would be so mad at me.
to get the travel sizes because we travel so much too. I'm like,
Listen, I'll use points anywhere you let me. But I don't always think that traveling points are worth it. Sometimes I think they're absolute horseshit. Don't get me started, Bond
yeah,
boy.
yeah.
One time we were in a one time we were in a hot tub in a real C plus hotel, and
Mhm.
Jen and I were having many glasses of wine after a very long many days of touring, and Jen started on this bit about every single person that walked by. She'd go, "I am a platinum Bonvoy member," and
Turn up this hot tub now.
I thought it was the funniest shit. I was laughing so hard, and it was the next day I was like, maybe it wasn't that funny, but to me and the 7 other people in that hot tub, I found it
Well, I'll
hilarious.
tell you, these 2 ladies, yes, had enjoyed a couple of cocktails because we were, convinced that the couple across from us were spies, and they weren't not spies.
They weren't not spies.
Yeah,
Okay, so that needs more storytelling. Okay, so Jen and I are in the hot tub, and this younger couple gets in, and they're hot to trot, and we're thinking, are they at a convention? They're definitely
yeah.
gonna hook up.
This we went
He's
where every middle-aged person's brain goes, "If I were young and I looked like that, I would
I'd
spend
be
this
doing
entire
that too.
weekend naked." Yeah.
But here's what you have to imagine. The hot tub is not very big. And
Nope.
Jen and I were directly across from them. And they were kind
Uh,
of like flirting with each other. And Jen and I were
cheering
directly 3 feet away from them, eyeballing them and having a conversation about them in front of
about
them
them.
three
And I'll
feet away.
tell you, just so you can visualize, there were 3 large farmers from the middle of the state who were there for some sort of convention, who, their wives were IMOMSOHARD fans, and, we hit it off, but it was a tight hot tub of uncomfortableness
So
specifically for this young couple.
we're a few drinks in and we think that there's like a sound barrier between us and them, to which there is not. And all of a sudden we're like, "What do you guys do?" And so we're thinking, like, maybe they're dentists, and this is, like, the American Dental Association, and who knows, they're gonna play fast and
Yeah,
loose, and they're gonna hook
I
up.
mean
But they started to tell us what their jobs were, and Jen and I were like, "I think they're lying." Like,
yeah, it was
they're
weird, neither one they were
yeah,
so bad at it.
they were so bad at it, and they were like, We
I'm a
sell garage doors." And I
control thing for
comptrollers. And we're
insurance.
like, Jen and I are holding our wines like, "We listen to a lot of true
That
crime,
sounds
okay?"
like bullshit to me. What
You know
about
what?
you,
I don't know if
Kristen?
you know what an incidental is, but you can't just go to their room and get whatever you want, gummy bear.
Hey, do you happen to know anything about what happens if you take gummy bears off of a
Because if
is
you
it
do, then I know you work for the FBI,
and they
which
did.
they
They were
did.
like, white collar crime division or something like
Yeah,
that.
they totally squealed. I was like, "You guys are terrible at your job." Like, you literally just squealed to 5 of the loudest people in a hot tub, and you're gonna hook up, which I'm sure is against the rules.
I think they were banking on us keeping a lot of secrets, and I think it's because they thought we were too tipsy to remember those secrets, but now
Which we
here we
kind
are
of were until exactly right now.
we are podcasting them several years later, all the details in a very murky way.
I'd
So
like
I
to think that those guys are now married with, like, a toddler, and now she has to listen to us, and I think she was like, "Oh, man, I met him when I was fit and young
those
and
were the days.
ready to hook
Yeah.
up with this random named Brandon," and then Brandon turns out to be my husband, and now he sucks.
Maybe we're not saying that you sucked, sir, but there's always and either one of them legitimately
I
could have
thought he was
sucked.
more charming than she was charming,
I don't know.
but
I
maybe I just found him more attractive.
He was cute. Okay. So this is what I was thinking. I'm gonna go I'm Val Kilmer's IMDb is just pages and
Oh, we're
pages and
going back to
pages
Val.
long.
Knock it out. I
Well,
know 'em all.
I feel like we should circle back to Val
Yes,
because
he's our hot flash today and for many days. I just love to think about what he gave us as an artist. I think I'm gonna go back and watch so many movies, Tombstone and
yes.
The
Well,
Saint and
I'm gonna
Willow,
tell
which
you,
really messed me up.
So in 1984, do you want to guess what his first movie was? We've said it
Top Secret.
earlier.
Top
Top
Secret.
Secret.
1986
Then
Top Gun.
he got one episode on an ABC after school special.
Nice.
And then he did Real Genius right into
Oh
Top
my
Gun.
god, that's
I
right.
mean,
I loved Real Genius.
the trajectory of his career is insane. Like he just was like on camera and they were like, "Oh, you're a superstar."
Did he go since you have it open, I think he went to Juilliard. If memory serves,
Oh, did he?
he went to
Let's
Juilliard.
see.
What I think is so poetic is I think that guy at the heart of him is this like true artist. And the last thing he did was like this one man show about Mark Twain. And that's when his throat started to have issues. So
Yeah.
there's something about, I was saying it before, about him that feels like a true movie star that I feel like he's just gone too soon.
Let me tell you why I'm confused because Jim Morrison also went to Juilliard
Oh,
for a
that's
brief
interesting.
stint. Yes.
So did Robin Williams.
Oh, okay. So then, the next huge one I would say is The Doors. Then
Which,
remember this one? True Romance.
oh my God. Yes. That's one of my favorite. Tarantino wrote it, didn't direct it. One of my favorite movies starring Christian Slater. And
If you are
who's
a
he in
Gen
it?
Xer,
Wait, who's
he
he
plays
in?
Elvis. He plays Elvis, the mentor, the voice in his head.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That if you're a Gen Xer, that is like it has to be in your
It
top
has to be that
5.
scene. Oh my God. I think it actually is a metaphor of what being a Gen Xer is.
Oh my
It's
god.
Tarantino is
Th
ours.
I wanna watch that movie again now,
Oh my
just
God.
think
True
and
Romance
then
was forever one of my favorites.
okay, then Tombstone, and I'm skipping, like, a ton of these,
I know
but
because he does a lot of cool, weird stuff.
Tombstone Batman, remember he was Batman
I
Forever.
loved him in Batman, and I think he loved being Batman. He has a wonderful
Heat,
mouth.
he's an island of Dr. Moreau. Okay, here's a deep cut because you know I love the B-sides. The Ghost in the Darkness.
It was so good.
My god, he's so good in it, and the story's
He's
so
good in
good.
everything. You haven't even gotten to my favorite one yet. Go ahead.
I haven't okay, so The Saint,
The Saint, 17 different characters he plays.
is
It
that
was
your
Harry.
favorite?
It's one of my top favorites, but it's Tombstone is my favorite with him, and I think it's my favorite Western ever. But keep going because I'm gonna go into my
Okay.
weird space.
Oh, I'm gonna go in a weird space. This one destroyed me. Wonderland.
Wonderland was great.
Oh my god, what's her name is in it? The from Blonde from Friends. Why can't I think of it? Phoebe. What
Um,
her Kudrow, Lisa Kudrow
Lisa Kudrow, yeah.
played his just pain-struck wife. It filleted me. Oh my god, that movie is so
That's
good.
not the one that's too heady for the one I'm talking about. I'm talking
Okay.
about Willow.
Oh yeah, no, yep, yeah, that's
I
right.
went
That
through
was
a
like
real
his 4th
dark
movie.
crystal, like, if it's in that, like, medieval, maybe there's a little, like, "I will kiss you" kinda tussle. S
Y
that's
yeah, I think a lot of people found Willow, sexually confusing because
I
there's
was so Val Kilmer in that long, weird hair, and he's funny, and he's, like he met his wife on the set, and then they got married for quite some time and then divorced, I think, but she was still a very much a part of his life because they had babies together.
I know, and the last public picture of him is with his daughter, Mercedes, and
Yep.
it was, like, 5 years ago, like, he
Yeah.
just stayed inside after that, so it is it's an incredible loss, and we thank you, Val Kilmer, for all the art that you brought to us.
So go rewatch those things, like, bring them
Go
back.
watch
He
them.
left us with these things we get to rewatch and explore and also share with our kids if your kids are of a certain age and you Real Genius is just a good ass time. Top Secret is stupid. It's so funny. It's a 7th
Yeah.
grade movie. Like, get ready for
He
nothing intelligent and everything funny.
he made, like, characters that you would fall in love with that you shouldn't, which is, like, really says something about his skill as an actor that it, like which I'm like, "This is why Tony Soprano actor is so hot." He made you fall in love with this, like, detestable being, like, made them dimensional and interesting.
Okay, let me just say this, and I've said it before on a podcast, but I love to relive these things because you should let people repeat themselves because clearly there's magic in their moments. That's what I say to my husband. My husband likes to take magic out of stuff. Um, James Gandolfini came to the bar that I bartended at, and I was so busy, and it was so many people, and it was like just one of those nights where you just felt like you were sweating through your shirt and nobody cared. It was a fancy place, but like bartending isn't fancy, so you always felt like everybody outside of the bar is having so much fun, and you're like trapped in this space. So I just remember being like, it's like 8 o'clock, it's packed. I knew it was gonna be the longest night ever, and I look over, and James Gandolfini's like leaning against the wall, and he
Mm.
looked at me and he goes, "Hey, kid," and
Oh my
I
God, I'm not. Give me a second. Give me a second.
and it was with that gravelly voice, as though to say, "I see you." And Mr. Gandolfini, I dorked out. I'm sure he regretted it immediately because I was 100% weird after that, like looking at him as much as I could. But he didn't. He was cool the whole night, and he like tipped me like a champ. He only came to the bar one time, but as he did, he
Mm.
like slid me $100. I was like, that's what you
Oh
do
my
when you're cool.
gosh.
That's what you do when you're cool.
Yeah,
Man, both of those guys we've lost, and that's
I
too
know.
many artists gone too
Let's
soon.
stop time right now. Let's write a letter to
Please,
somebody and end this
dear
time
diary,
going by too fast shit.
I can't afford to keep my hair brown. Please pause.
Oh God. Did we just
I
podcast?
think we podcasted. Shout out to all the people we love in Val Kilmer's family.
Pioneer.